What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future of this company. I'm also going to break down why I believe NIO will see a bit of a bounce back for next week, why I think this thing is going to run to the upside temporarily, and why we're very close to the bottom for now, before we do see some more bearish price action for the later days of, I would say, the week after next week. So I do expect us to see a bit of a drop during then, but before we get to that later point, before we get to the beginning of May, we have one last week, and I do think that NIO is going to actually run to the upside. I'm going to show you exactly why. I'm also going to break down what NIO put on their Twitter page. That's very important and makes me very bullish for the long-term future of this company. Now, before I break any of this down, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, but it's the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull with the link down below and deposit any amount of money, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You're guaranteed up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. Once again, that's free money. And you could always sell these 5 free stocks for cash and buy some NIO shares with that money. It's a limited time offer that ends in 2 weeks, so please check it out before it ends. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, we're obviously dropping down, and we ended up getting that nice bounce around that $16.98 range. In my previous video, I did talk about the fact that if NIO did drop around that 17, I did expect us to see a nice bounce, but we didn't quite see it the way I had anticipated. We ended up seeing a slight bounce for being followed by some more bearish price action. So I was technically right, but then not entirely. But I do see us seeing some better moves for next week. I am going to be a little bit more bullish for the upcoming trading week, followed by some red in May. I do think we're going to see a little bit more red in May before we get a really nice bounce after the FOMC meeting. But let's actually break this down first. So next week is coming. Why is next week so important? The first thing to be looking at is this right here. We have the FOMC blackout period, which means the Fed is essentially not going to be speaking or giving too many big announcements between April 23rd and May 5th. But then that essentially doesn't include the big FOMC meeting. So they have a big meeting on May 3rd through the 4th. So until then, between now and then, they're not going to say anything. So that's important because they're not going to essentially rug pull us or lead to all this bearish price action based off what they say or anything like that. So the market's going to be in a better state. And on top of that, we have these big earnings coming out. So how we perform depends on these earnings. Microsoft and Alphabet, which is Google, will report their latest reports after the bell on Tuesday, followed by Facebook, also known as Meta Platforms, on Wednesday, and then Apple and Amazon on Thursday. So that's going to be huge. If they announce some big things, the whole market is going to just rally. If they don't, the market could take a hit, but I think it's most likely true that they're going to do considerably well. So what do I think is going to happen for next week? Well, considering the fact that if I bring up some technical indicators right here, you could see that at one point NIO was trading much higher and we were close to that overbought region when we were at 24. Then we started dropping after that, and since then we've essentially been just crashing and crashing and crashing. And right here we're in the oversold territory. We've been dropping way too hard for too long, and we're in that position where we're ready to see a bit of a reversal. Now look at the MACD. I think the MACD is going to be very interesting. Let me just pull this up real quick. When looking at the MACD, you guys could essentially see that NIO has been dropping and dropping and dropping. We got a very hard drop at the very end, but I do see this curl that's essentially forming right here, which gives us a very good indicator that we're about to cross the signal line or the 9-day moving average, which is an indicator that NIO is about to find its bottom and see some reversal price action. So what do I think is going to happen? This is what I think is going to happen for the upcoming days. If you zoom out and go back, NIO has these two gaps right here. There's one gap, it's like right here. If I zoom into it, there are two gaps. One of them is right here where my cursor is, right? That's going to take us to 1575. The next gap is going to take us to about 1496, maybe a little bit lower than that. So are we going to fill the gaps next week? I actually doubt that. I don't think we're going to fill it that soon. I predict that this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to get a nice bounce on Monday, right? Because we have earnings. We've been oversold for so long. We're going to drop a little bit, essentially trade sideways. And then if, let's just say, a big company out there, like if Alphabet or Google has a really good earnings, the market rallies, NIO could get pushed to that $19 to $20 range, then drop. And if we have another good earnings from like Amazon or Apple, we could actually stay afloat. Then after, as we approach Friday, I expect a red Friday. I think we're going to see a bit of a red day. And then as we approach next week, that's when we could see NIO take a big hit again, followed by some really bearish price action. It might actually start dropping like this as we get closer to the FOMC meeting. And right there, that could be the time we fill this gap up here. We're probably not going to go as low as that $14 range, maybe $15.75, because what's happening is the market is uncertain. Technically, even though we're very confident about what we're going to see from the Fed in the latest FOMC meeting when the minutes are released, I have to tell you, we're not entirely certain yet. The market likes certainty. So once that 50 basis point rate hike is kind of priced in, I expect to see some sideways action followed by some nice bullish reversal. And I do think that NIO is going to start going up slowly after that. So that is essentially where I see this thing going. I do think we're going to have a week kind of looking like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if those gap fills end up coming a little bit later for the future. So I just wanted to put it out there for you guys. It is possible that we could drop as low as that 14 range, get shattered. I don't know, but it's quite unlikely for us to drop that low. We could stay like right here, and maybe that could get filled in the future. Who knows? But as of right now, I do expect a bounce kind of like this, and this is essentially what I'm seeing. Because right now, those big earnings could really dictate how this market moves, and the Fed not speaking for next week could allow us to actually have some breathing room and actually run up a little bit, as we are very oversold on the RSI. So anyways, I am pretty bullish for next week, a little bit more on the bearish side for the week after, and then followed by the FOMC meeting, I expect a nice move to the upside. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this right here. It states on NIO's Twitter page that on April 22nd, in celebrating the 53rd Earth Day, NIO and WWF China entered into Clean Park's strategic partnership to protect the authenticity and integrity of ecosystems and natural reserves in China and even worldwide. So huge shout out to them for actually working and contributing to make the world a better place. I'm very happy that they're working so hard to improve our environment. This is what their purpose is, and they are heroes for the work that they are doing, which is just another reason as to why I support what this company is doing and where I see it going for the future. So anyways, I thank you all for listening. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, and peace out.